Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. For those utilizing ASL services, today's ASL interpreters are Beth Zurif and Veronica Staley. Instructions on how to pin their video can be found on the chat. For those utilizing closed captioning services, CART services will be provided and it can also be found in the chat. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Darsh. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Executive Director of the CCRB. Thank you for joining us today. Will the board members present in person please introduce themselves now?
Pat Smith, good afternoon, the mayoral appointee.
Good afternoon, Charlene Brown Wyans, Police Commissioner Designee.
Herman Merritt, City Council Designee from Brooklyn.
Esmeralda Simmons, Public Advocate Designee from Brooklyn.
Good afternoon. I'm Joseph Puma. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm the City Council Designee from Manhattan.
A.U. Hogan, City Council Designee from Queens.
Hi, Joe Fox, NYPD rep.
So Ms. June Northern is joining us online today, but she's having audio issues. So I wanted to let you all know that she's here, but she won't be able to introduce herself. And I believe Frank, Mr. Dwyer and Mr. Jamat are online as well. If you could introduce yourselves.
Frank Dwyer, Police Commissioner Designee. Thank you. Good to be with you.
Good evening, Kevin Jamat, Mayor appointee from Queens.
So we're going to hold off on the minutes because we're expecting Mr. Siegel to arrive shortly, and I'm going to give my report. Begin today's meeting by thanking Kevin Jamat for his service on the Civilian Complaint Review Board. Mr. Jamat has been a member of the board for nearly 2 years and brought wisdom and integrity to every complaint he voted on. On a personal note, I benefited immensely from Kevin's insight into the work we do and its importance. Kevin, thank you for the help you have given me over the last 2 years. I know I speak for the entire staff when I say that while we are sad to see you go, we wish you luck on your future endeavors. At our July meeting, the topic of inclusion of civilian criminal histories and case closing reports was introduced. In addition to the issues of NYPD case retention and complaints being closed by NYPD due to proximity to the statute of limitations. We are in the process of compiling and analyzing data on these topics, and I will have an update for the public and the board at an upcoming meeting. Last week, the NYPD issued updates to the disciplinary matrix, which is the set of guidelines the board uses for deciding what level of discipline to recommend for members of the NYPD the board found committed misconduct. We are also in the process of analyzing these changes, and I will have an update at an upcoming meeting. Our office is open for walk-in complaints, but it is also possible to file complaints online at nyc.gov/CCRB complaint, by telephone at 1-800-341-2272 or by dialing 311, or by tagging the agency on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For those wishing to speak during the public comment section of today's meeting, we ask that you keep your questions and comments to 4 minutes. If anyone wishes to file a complaint tonight, we have 2 investigators on hand ready to take any new complaints. The investigators on call this afternoon are Emma Steidehar and Rob Bryan, and Brianna Feliciano is also here from the Civilian Assistance Unit. Just want to check if any members of the board have any questions for me at the present time. So while we are waiting for Mr. Siegel, we can't do any new business or old business because we do not have a quorum. Is there any other topic that a member of the board wishes to bring up at this time, even though we cannot formally vote on it?
Mr. Darsh, I have something to say, which will not require a vote, if I may. Colleagues, members of the public, earlier this month, a CCRB D panel was postponed because there were not enough CCRB members to fill the panel and vote on the cases. A brief explanation. Under the New York City Charter, the CCRB should have 15 members. Currently, there are only 10. Kevin, I'm sorry, I've already written you off. I'm sorry. Because the mayor and the city council have not made appointments. These members are divided into 3-member panels, each of which reviews 50 to 60 cases a month by computer. Each panel meets virtually once a month and votes to accept or revise the recommendations of the CCRB staff, which has investigated the cases. Right now, there are 3 panels reviewing cases instead of 5. Hundreds of civilians are waiting for justice, most for 15 months or more, because we're missing 5 CCRB members. Each month, there is a D panel, 50 or 60 cases in which CCRB staff investigators have cleared the officers of the charges against them. In 99% of these cases, the 3 CCRB members on the D panel vote to accept the staff recommendations and the officer is cleared. In many cases, charges are made against several officers. So now there are up to 100 officers whose names will not be cleared because we did not have enough CCRB members to do the job. Up to 100 officers who wake up every morning, often for more than a year, wondering about the CCRB case against them. Some of these officers have pending promotions, which are delayed until the CCRB case is cleared. Some officers have transfers, which are delayed until their names are cleared. Our mayor and our city council must do their duty and appoint members to the CCRB. We have a solemn obligation to our citizens and to our police officers to administer justice in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Does anyone else on the board have anything to say? Ms. Simmons?
Yes. I was not present at the last meeting, so I just wanted to express my appreciation for our former chair, Arva Rice. I thought she did a fantastic job. All I can say is I have watched the CCRB for many, many years, and she accomplished things for the CCRB, particularly around city council support and even mayoral support at times that we were not able to achieve in the past. I'm very sorry that she resigned. We will miss her tremendously. I really don't know what we're going to do next year when the budget rolls around, but we'll do our best. We'll carry on. I just wanted to express that I was not in the country at the time. I wanted to express that I've known her for many years before she joined the CCRB. We've been colleagues, and she jumped into this without a background in police work. So I want you to know that this was truly an excellent service. Thank you. Thank you, Arva.
So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Yahira for the public comment portion of our meeting. Sorry, I forgot something. Not going to turn it over to Yahira. I'm going to turn it over to Marwa, our Deputy Director of Outreach and Intergovernmental Affairs, Marwa Rehe.
Good afternoon, all. The Civilian Complaint Review Board is the nation's largest independent oversight entity over the largest police force in the country. The CCRB investigates, mediates, and prosecutes complaints of misconduct against members of the NYPD. The agency is governed by a 15-member board with 5 seats appointed by the mayor, 5 appointed by the city council, 3 designated by the police commissioner, 1 appointed by the public advocate, and the chair is appointed jointly by the mayor and city council. So the CCRB investigates abuses of force, authority, discourtesy, and offensive language. How to report police misconduct. You can file a complaint online at nyc.gov/CCRB complaints. You can call the CCRB at 1-800-341-CCRB. Remember, if you see footage of misconduct on social media or in the news, you can file a complaint, even if you weren't there in person. And our handle is CCRB_NYC. In addition to that, you can also file a complaint by visiting our office at 100 Church Street. You could file a complaint online at nyc.gov/CCRB complaint. You can DM us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our username is CCRB_NYC. You can mail a complaint into our office, or you can file a complaint at your local police precinct. NYPD is required to accept CCRB complaints at any precinct. And you can also request a complaint form and postage-free envelope there. If you would like to request an outreach presentation, you can reach out to us at outreach@ccrb.nyc.gov. And please follow us on social media. Again, we're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook with the username CCRB_NYC. Thank you.
We will now enter the public comment portion of the meeting. We will begin with those joining us virtually who would like to make a comment, followed by those who are joining us in person. For those joining virtually, please use the raise your hand feature. Everyone, please keep your comments to 4 minutes. Yahira, would you please call on the first person?
Thank you, John. We'll first be hearing from Michael Myers.
Oh, Mr. Myers, actually, has he been promoted? Is he able to talk?
Mr. Myers, can you try to unmute yourself?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yes, we can hear you.
This is Michael Myers, President of New York Civil Rights Coalition. I will limit my comments to less than 4 minutes. 5 missing members of the CCRB. This is an act of disrespect to the people of New York who depend on a quorum of the CCRB to have meetings, to have adjudications of complaints against police officers. And the blame must go to the mayor of the city of New York and the city council because they jointly make those appointments. And it's embarrassing, to say the least, that the mayor and the city council have not made necessary appointments to keep this organization busy and active. It's an act of disrespect, and I resent it. Also, we have to note with esteem and congratulations of the police commissioner's resignation. This guy was a terrible police commissioner, and I want to make that for the record. He was a terrible police commissioner, and he will not be missed. So long, sayonara, good luck in your next endeavor. that the mayor backed him for as long as he backed him is an embarrassment to the city of New York, to the people of New York who put that mayor in place. So it's now a matter of time before the other people start rolling out. And we got to start counting now, because there are so many people in the city government who are under suspicion, who are under the federal government's and prosecutors' eyes. And we have to wonder why. Why? And why is this man so silent when he should be vocal, when he should be making these people accountable to the people of New York? This guy is an embarrassment. We have to we meaning I, call upon him to be accountable and responsible to the people of New York. And if he can't be, he must resign post haste immediately. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Before we continue with public comment, Mr. Siegel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, good afternoon, John Siegel, mayoral appointee to the board. I apologize for my tardiness. I suppose I could blame the MTA, but that would be really cheesy. So I apologize for being late.
Yahira, is there anyone else online who wishes to make a statement?
No, that concludes the virtual public session.
For those who are here in person and would like to make a public comment, please line up behind the podium and please keep your comments to 4 minutes.
Hello to the CCRB board, staff, community, all. My name is Mari Moss. I would like to echo the sentiments of Ms. Simmons on Arva Rice. She is greatly missed and she did a tremendous job. So I know those are going to be big shoes to fill. I'd also like to thank Board Member Smith on acknowledging and letting the community know that there's a responsibility to get 5 board members appointed immediately so that the business of this body can be done. As we approach Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October, I would like to invite the CCRB, which I was so proud to see marching in the African American Parade on Sunday. I'd love to have a representative at a Chase Bank sponsored discussion on domestic violence, because as I come to these meetings, I've been sharing the various roadblocks, sometimes the gaps that exist between domestic violence and police when it comes to handling those cases in the best manner possible. So I would love that. The event will take place on October the 5th in Harlem Chase Branch, which is located at 55 West 125th Street. It will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Brunch will be provided, so nobody has to get breakfast or lunch. You can come straight to the Chase Branch in Harlem and be fed, and there will be some gifts as well for people who attend. And I'm grateful that we have the first deputy commissioner of the NYPD, Tanya Kinsella, attending as well, along with a lot of other people from Safe Horizons and other staff of the administration. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing some of you there.
Thank you for letting us know about that, Ms. Moss. And if you could give Prince all the details, we're going to make sure someone from our outreach team is there. Thank you. So that appears to be all of the public comment for today. Would any of the board members who are present here today like to make a motion to approve the August board meeting minutes? Would one of the board members like to second that motion?
Second.
Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing no corrections, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The minutes are approved. I'd also like to ask one of the board members who's present here today, move that we break into executive session. The agenda for executive session is the board will consider 4 cases, 4 complaints. I will discuss pending personnel actions, and the general counsel will provide updates regarding pending litigation. Is there a second to Ms. Brown's motion? All in favor? This meeting is adjourned into executive session.